So let it be written, so let it be done. This is Tabletop Terrors. My name is Tim, and you're watching Daily Damage. You've not seen a Daily Damage in some time for a few different reasons. But if this is your first time here watching Tabletop Terrors, this is a very vloggy, conversational live stream. So we hope you hang out and talk and join the conversation. But if you're not into that sort of thing, we have other videos you might want to look at. What are we about? We're all about helping people be more creative, and that is something that we strive to do in every way, because we believe that unused creativity is not benign. So let's get creative. Let's talk about Dragon Grin. Let's talk about Lloyd Collins and his upcoming Iscloth Kickstarter, and let's talk about Marquise Hardis and his upcoming Warlord subclass. No, class. Oh man, what's going on? We got a ton of people who are here. Now, I have a story to tell you very quickly about why you haven't seen any Daily Damage, and it's not because I'm busy. Okay, it has a lot to do with something a little awkward, and I'll tell you that in 1 second. Josh Rivera is here. Afternoon. Megan Hambrock, good afternoon. One of the creators of Cryfoth, which also successfully kickstarted. Awesome. Emma Page is here. Dr. Professor Sir, what is going on? Darius Jana, hello, lovely man. Hello, lovely Darius. B. Flummy, howdy. Becoming Jason, oh, hi. D. Future says, your dick is small. Awesome. Thanks a lot, D. Future. Appreciate it. I know you see it a lot. So, the reason why I don't do the Daily Damage anymore, it's very simple. It's because I was doing them on my lunch break at work. And when I would get back to the office, I would have BO. I would sweat, and I would continue to sweat. And I had two people be like, hey man, you smell kind of sweaty. So even if it wasn't just like legit BO, it was, I smelled rank because I didn't have anywhere to shower. And even if I took like an Irish bath where I would like wash off in the sink and change, I would still be gross. And so I had to use some level of decorum and not continue to do my daily walks. So unfortunately, I'll have to find another way to do them. Maybe I'll do them in the morning, but I feel like not a lot of people will be around. So anyway, that out of the way, we have so many awesome people here. Performance Check is here. Hail. Benjamin Fisher, I have arrived. Bow before me. Hail victory. Well, bow. Dylan Worth is here. He's like, Havoc Bringer guys, now that's some Daily Damage right there. Craig Ragland, I know that feel. Yeah, man, look, it's just being real. I actually I'm going to talk about something first. I'm going to do a toast that I promised in the Absolute Tabletop Facebook group. And I feel like the moment's passed. I'm not going to lie to you. At the time that I wrote this, I was laughing pretty hard. But if you know the Tabtarian toast, you will recognize the cadence, rhythm, and meter. However, this is just a special Abtabian toast, and this is sort of a one-off, and it goes something like this. May your meadows be misty. May your prep notes be listy. And may your interest posts see a spike before they dipsy. Okay, it still made me laugh. That was just for me. I can't imagine anyone else thinking that's funny. But when I came up with that in my head, I was laughing so hard I had to step into the break room. All right. Quad Gaming. Have missed these. At work, though, can't stay. Hey, man, thank you so much for popping in. So the first thing is, a lot of you have been around for a really long time on the channel. You hang out with me doing these, these Daily Damages. The thing I want to say is that if you are watching this and you want to help support the channel, we are currently kickstarting our campaign setting guide, A Dead Man's Guide to Dragon Grin. And so please check out A Dead Man's Guide to Dragon Grin. If any of you nice Tabtarians are around and can actually link that in the chat. Facebook actually has this really cool thing now where a lot of you have mentioned, well, hey, I leave all these comments, but no one can see them moving forward. Well, now you can. Facebook has made it so that when you leave a comment, that comment now replays along with the video. So anything you say can and will be held against you in a YouTube court of law. But if any of you nice handsomes would drop the link in there, I will, after the fact, put it in the video description, but for now, if anybody wants to visit. But we have a huge community of brilliant people, and that's the Absolute Tabletop community. Tabletop Terrors is 1/4 of Absolute Tabletop. And so, absolutely support our Kickstarter if you want to support us. But that is not going to be the focus. What I want the focus to be is 2 other amazing projects that we have coming up. The first one is Lloyd Collins, one of the top contributors to the Absolute Tabletop Facebook group, is coming out with his own Kickstarter. And this is going to be probably end of April, beginning of May. It's called Iskloft. It is a brutal, grim Viking setting. It has just enough historical elements to be extremely meaty if you're interested in the history and the culture of the Vikings. Real-world terms, real-world society, and the way that he has it laid out, but it also takes some of the coolest, most incredible elements of the mythos of the Vikings and what they believed, and he's pulling those into his game. And so that is something that I'm really looking forward to. I've been helping him, consulting a little bit on the Kickstarter, sort of full disclosure, but he's a really good friend of mine, and I really want to make sure that everyone knows about this project because I think it's going to be absolutely amazing. The Command 10 is here. What's going on? Havoc Bringer Guy says, yeah, well, I hope we crack all the stretches. Give me more death for my PCs. Yeah, we're coming up very quickly on some of the stretch goals for a Dead Man's Guide. Corey Hollenbach says, just hold my wallet for all future projects. We'll definitely take your wallet out for Lloyd. I also, if you have any questions, if there's anything you want to talk about, feel free to bring it up. I've got probably a good 30 minutes to hang out in the car here, and I would love to just talk and answer anything you guys have going on. Another thing is, one of the most inspirational contributors to our community, Marquise Hardis, is in the middle of creating a new class, and he's creating the Warlord class. He has, in the Absolute Tabletop Facebook group, posted several inspirational pictures and posts and sort of his iterative design process. And so I'm really excited for that to come out. I think he said it's going to come out like today or tomorrow. So we'll probably link that and share it as well. But I love new classes. You know, that's one of those tricky things that's really hard to design. And I know Marquise is a great designer. So really looking forward to that. So those are 2 things you need to keep an eye out for outside of anything we're doing. The community, the Absolute Tabletop Facebook group, if you're not a part of it, you have to be a part of it. It's a really cool slice of the internet where there is a ton of positivity, a ton of creativity, and it's just a place where you can get lost and understand that as you wander around, you'll be inspired, you'll be challenged in a great way, and we want you to be a part of the conversation. To all you lurkers, you know, the first time you post, the second time, the third time, you eventually become just a part of the family. So, yeah, check out the Absolute Tabletop Facebook group, and both of those things that I just mentioned to you are straight out of the Absolute Tabletop Facebook group. All right here. Megan Hambrock says, Iskloft is amazing. Absolutely. Grayson Akins, I'm excited for that Warlock patron. Haha. Now, Grayson, which one are you talking about in particular? Oh, and it wouldn't let anybody post the link. Hey. Becoming Jason says, when will the Kickstarter be ready for publishing, Tim? Fancy giving a Dead Man's Guide away at Con Plus. So, they will be ready next year. As stated on the, on the Kickstarter page, what we're doing is giving ourselves a year to complete the book. Now, barring anything ridiculous or drastic, we anticipate that being sooner. And one of the other things we're doing is we're creating an online living production diary. So if you do back the project, we're going to drip feed you progress and cool pieces of the book in a very stripped down format, like Unearthed Arcana sort of thing, so that you don't have to wait a full year before you are able to play in Dragon Grin. So unfortunately, as far as prize support, I don't think it would be ready in time, but that would be amazing. I wish. But yeah, we're looking at next year. Let's see here. So as I'm scrolling through the... Oh, God. Okay. Okay. Also, no Facebook, says the command tent. Matt Lennington, another proud lurker. Chalice and Chains, hey, happy Monday. Happy Monday. Lurker and proud, says Lawrence Kentworthy. Joshua Rivera says, will you be going to Gen Con this year? So, there's a chance. There's a chance I will be going to Gen Con this year. It wasn't planned, but some other things have sort of developed, and there's a possibility that I will be doing that. Nate Magnum says, audio down. Is your audio down or is my audio down? Can you guys hear me? Let's see here. Oh, okay. Grayson Aiken says, the Tome Heart one that was mentioned a few videos ago. So yes, one of the stretch goals that is yet to be unlocked is a mechanical upgrade. It's the final stretch. No. It's the next stretch goal. The next stretch goal will be unlocking some cool mechanical subclasses and things like that in a Dead Man's Guide to Dragongrin. One of which is this enormous construct patron. It's called the Heart of the Tome. And so, yeah, I absolutely would love that. Okay, Dylan said the audio is great. Drop dice, Chris Wilhelm. Chris Wilhelm is also one of the most inspirational creators in the Absolute Tabletop Facebook group. He is currently working on I don't know how to describe it, but it is a Asian infused sort of... Chris, give me the elevator pitch because I don't want to mess up your world. I love it. It's inspirational. But it's... Chris has enough world knowledge of Asian culture and wuxia and all that stuff. So it's in a similar fashion how Lloyd's is Viking themed. It's also got a lot of real world infusion. But I think as far as, what Chris is working with, there's going to be a lot more fiction and mythos, whereas Lloyd's Isklov setting is going to be specifically, gritty and more real world. I get the sense based on interest posts and various art that's been posted and things like that, that Chris's setting is going to be a lot more fantastical, and that excites me. I think it's fantastic. All right, here. Anyway, all that to say, Drop Dice, Chris said, I hear one of Lloyd's stretch goals is shipping him to America for AtCon 2019 for a live game. Fake news. Christy Rand says, my problem is our sci-fi fantasy worlds are not based on D&D. That's no problem at all. When you mean the system, that's totally great because most of a Dead Man's Guide to Dragongrin is going to be system agnostic, inspirational tools. There will be mechanical stuff. That's why this is such a late stretch goal. And this is important because while everything is 5e compatible when there are mechanics, and there will be plenty of mechanics, the bulk of the 375-page book is inspirational. It's an atlas of inspiration. So, system-agnostic roll tables for inspiration on where your character's from, how your character would fit into the world of Dragongrin, the lore, the mythos, the names of the creatures. All of those things are very easy to reskin to any setting, as well as any system. So, this is really, really important because we learned a lot from Oath of the Frozen King. That's one of our last products. And we have a handful of people who set out and complimented us and said, hey, I ran this with Dungeon World. I ran this with Shadowrun. Older editions of D&D even. And I promise you that if you back a Dead Man's Guide to Dragongrin, it's going to have plenty of stuff that you can use and never even touch 5th edition. But if you do like 5th edition, any of the mechanics are going to be fully compatible, and you're going to get a lot of mileage out of those as well. So hopefully that makes sense. Oh, cool. All right, cool. Oh, Nate was just having some audio problems there. Let's see here. Loud and clear. Info on AbTabCon. Will there be an East Coast meet? So Corey, what Corey's talking about is AtCon. If any of you are interested, we have a convention known as AtCon, which you can also find. You can go to news.absolutetabletop.com. You will have to scroll past our hilarious April Fool's Day post that I'm very proud of. But after that, one of the most recent posts on news.absolutetabletop.com is AtCon. It's our in-person convention that is taking place in Seattle. we are open to people coordinating satellite cons. And so if you know a group of people, if you'd like to do sort of a sanctioned satellite con, let me know, get in contact with me, and we will definitely try to make something like that happen. But nothing official as of right now. Hey, Carol, Grandma Abtab is here. Matt Park 909, is Learn to Play D&D coming back anytime soon? Yes, it is. As soon as the Kickstarter's over, because we have a bunch of those My 30-Day World videos posting, which was a 30-day world-building initiative where we invited everybody to tell us about their worlds, and we would tell you about ours. Once that's over, and once the Kickstarter ends, we're actually really, really excited because the next round of Learn to Play D&D is going to be step-by-step tabletop terrors character creation. And so in the same way that Learn to Play D&D up till now has been taking you at the foundational level and explaining every detail of what an RPG is and how it should work and etc., we're going to do the same thing with creating a character. So you're never going to have to worry that it's too difficult to get started. We're going to take you step by step. It's 5 videos long, and we have created a character from absolute zero. We screen share the PDF, and we do a form-fillable PDF. We explain every step of the process, and we also explain how to do it differently, why we chose what we chose. So yes, Learn to Play D&D is coming back in a huge way. It's going to be in May. So we're really, really excited about that, and you're going to see more of those videos consistently on the channel as well. Let's see here. Hey, Peter's here. What's going on, Peter? Peter is a big part of one of the groups that I'm a part of called Minotaur, Fitness for Geeks. You can search that on Facebook as well. Most geeky people, most people want to lose a couple pounds or be a little healthier. If you're interested in anything like that, do a search for Minotaur, Fitness for Geeks. I'll add you to the Facebook group. And none of us are doctors. None of us are fitness specialists per se. But all of us just help each other, keep each other accountable, and hang out. So, yeah, you can join that as well. Let's see here. Lore question. This is Dylan Worth, and Dylan says, I love joyous, bustling taverns. Are spaces like that outlawed, or at least discouraged in Dragongrin? How would you play comedy in the dark world of Dragongrin? Okay, so, the first thing is, no, those kind of places wouldn't be outlawed, but they wouldn't happen as commonly naturally, just because the environment. But I think, even for me, I am a big fan of gallows humor. And so, like, when some of my relatives passed away, we were all making jokes. Jokes that most people would probably be very uncomfortable with, but for me and my family, that's one of the ways that we express ourselves. And, you know, you can armchair psychoanalyze that all day, but it works for us. So, in Dragongrin, if you can find a reason to laugh or be happy, no one's probably going to outlaw that. And in fact, you know, just thinking off the top of my head, there's probably exactly what you're talking about. That bustling tavern would exist in the Copper Sun. The Copper Sun is one of the last remnants of good. It's this floating sort of orrery of a city, almost like a globe. You'll be seeing that in some concept art we post this week in the Absolute Tabletop Facebook group. But in there is probably one of the places you'd be able to find a bustling, joyous tavern, even if for a night or a few nights every once in a while. So yeah, absolutely. How do you handle comedy in Dragongrin? Again, going back to that gallows humor, there's a game that I ran. It was last Friday. It was called Those That Remain, Kindred, and there's a lot of humor in that game. There's also a lot of really serious scenes that are pretty gut-wrenching. And so I play with an awesome group who I feel has a really good pulse on when to make a joke and when not to. I tend to make the jokes most of the time. But at the end of the day, the way that I like to run a game, I like to include about 25% just purely hanging out with my friends. That might not be everybody's play style, but I think one of the hacks is metagame jokes and humor in Dragongrin versus in-game stuff. And that's sort of like ginger between sushi, you know, but it's up to you. So there are also ways to find humor sometimes in the worst situations. And Joss Whedon does a really good job with that in the Buffy series, things like that. So that's how I handle it, a little bit of metagaming. All right, here. Got to go way back up. There's plenty of really good comments. Okay, drop dice. Xiaoyun is Chris's setting. It's inspired by, I think it's Zhanja, high fantasy with elements of like Taoism, Buddhism, and a Korean mythos. And he has an interest post running right now on Absolute Tabletop. So if you want to just jump in and get your feet wet, Chris is an excellent dungeon master. I trust him to the degree that I would recommend you go over and post on his interest post. Go now to Facebook, in a new tab, search out Absolute Tabletop. You'll find our official group. Once you join and are approved, just do a search for Chris. His name is Chris Wilhelm, and you'll see it. I am very interested to see how that game plays out, but just tell him I sent you. Let's see here. Okay, Grayson says, oh wow, 375 pages, talking about our upcoming Kickstarter book. This will be your largest publication to date, right? Yes. I think by about almost double, if not double. And so, but, you know, we're really proud of the fact that we are jamming it full of stuff. So it's not going to be 375 pages with, there's no 0-calorie writing in there, you know, as we say. It's all very dense, very rich, very full. So yeah, it's a big one, but it's going to still keep that Absolute Tabletop level of quality. We're going to make sure of that. Let's see here. Can't wait for AtCon. That's Tamiko. Okay, Squid Sledge says, I'm new to D&D. How do I play? So this is really great. You have found the right place. We have a video series called Learn to Play D&D, and there should be a playlist. If you're watching this on mobile, you probably won't be able to access it. But if you're on your desktop, one of the playlists we have is Learn to Play D&D. Or you can simply just Google that term, or not Google, but put it into the search bar on YouTube, and check the Tabletop Terrors videos. We have 3 videos up. They're like 30-plus minutes apiece. Some people complain that we talk too much, or that, oh, you explain the basics or get to the point. But our intent was to make it so that you could watch these videos with absolutely zero experience and walk away understanding what an RPG is. So this is probably the video series for you. I'd recommend going and checking that out. Christy Rand says, our game master played with Dave Arneson. That's pretty cool. Like, I love stuff like that. Just being able to taste a piece of that history, and it's kind of a downer and a little sad, but a lot of those older guard guys are they're in the twilight of their years, and so the opportunities are growing smaller to actually do that. Oh, Carol says she flavored Oath of the Frozen King in her Adventures of Middle-earth game as well. And it may show up in Pathfinder. She's talking about one of our recent supplements that is an adventure kit. It is a modular adventure module where you basically build the adventure using the pieces we provide. It's very seamless. It's very simple. We're taking the principles that we learned from Oath of the Frozen King, and we are implementing many of those same techniques and principles into a Dead Man's Guide to Dragongrin where necessary. Let's see here. Drop dice. Gamsaw Hamnida. Oh, Nate Magnum says, I filled out most of the 30-day questions for my game setting, by the way. Mr. Tim, where's the best place to share my World Doc with you guys? So, that's a really good question. This coming Sunday, we're actually going to be doing a My 30-Day World sort of capstone hangout. It's going to be after the challenge is over, so that everyone has that last few days to sort of catch up and do any of the entries they really want to see finished. So this Sunday, sometime between 3 and 6 Eastern, and we'll post a link to that and we'll share it around. But we're going to invite you to submit any pieces of your world. Also, a really good place to share it is the Absolute Tabletop Facebook group with the hashtag My30DayWorld. But if you want to be a part of that capstone hangout, it will be this Sunday, and we're going to be picking entries. So we haven't decided exactly how we're going to do it, but we'll probably maybe just read off the questions, go through some of the questions, and then see what people's answers are, and maybe read them, talk them through, things like that. So that's the best way. Or if you have them concentrated in a Google Doc or something, send them over. Send them to tabletopterrors@gmail.com. Hey, Matt Park says, thanks, Tim. For sure, man. Gamsa Hamnida, phonetic Korean, thanks. Oh. Micah Peoples, hey Tim, I've missed these daily Ds. Dude, me too. I've got to find a way to do it. I'm thinking maybe in the morning. I don't know. Oh boy, here we go. Some more phonetic Korean. All right, I'm going to do this. Chanmani, Malsam Imnida. I don't know if I if I did that right. You're welcome. I'm enjoying the process. This is Chris from Drop Dice. You're welcome. I'm enjoying the process, and it's been challenging in a good way, to be honest. Daily dose. Great pronunciation, Tim. He's not talking about these most recent ones, probably my previous one. Thank you, man. I try. Oh, so Corey Hollenbach says the Doomsayer and Match Dragon Ring game was killer, by the way. So yes, we actually, on Reddit right now, in the D&D Next subreddit, we actually have a post with the Doomsayer stat block, as well as a little bit of art, so that's pretty cool. It was a terrifying creature of Dragongrin. They are servants of the Dismembered Lord, and with their voices alone, can essentially stun players, and they also can use mimicry. So it's a really cool combination, I think. It's not a very long stat block, but with the combination of being able to sort of freeze everyone if they don't pass their save, and then if everyone's stunned, while the Doomsayer is repeating these mimicry phrases that maybe they heard you while they were tracking you, it can be terrifying. So I don't want to give away any spoilers, but Matt uses that to great effect. It's on the Fistful of Dice YouTube channel. It's Speaketh Only Doom is the name of the game, and you should absolutely check out that session, because not only does it feature Matt's very first Dragongrin game, but it also is the first appearance of a Doomsayer, and it's killer. The amount for the book. The amount for the book for the Kickstarter right now, it's $20 for a PDF. It is $55 for the hardcover. And that is the normal, just the hardcover, but we also have other tiers that include all of the PDFs we've released. And there's another one which is all that stuff, plus a World Builders Workshop live stream and a copy of a Dragongrin map that you can put on your tabletop. Oh, and thanks. Corey said, oh, your Tome Heart was awesome also. The Tome Heart is another race in Dragongrin, and you can see that played out and role-played in that same game. Awesome. And Squid Sludge says that they will check those out. Joshua Rivera says, also for new people to D&D, there's a beginner interest post on the AbTab Facebook site. Absolutely. There are a lot of beginner-friendly games in that group I was telling you about, the Absolute Tabletop Facebook group, because we just like hanging out. So you don't have to be a pro at playing D&D. Many of the interest posts are beginner-friendly, so don't be afraid to say, hey, I'm a beginner, but I'd love to be a part of this game. I would even take it as far as to say some of the game masters would enjoy that, and have new blood and a player they can teach in the session is actually... it's great. It can be a really cool experience. Peter says, I'm glad to see your Kickstarter is doing awesome. I just finished with the core rules of my game. 30 pages now for the setting. Dude, that's awesome. Congratulations on finishing that. That's the hardest part, truly. And thank you for the kind words about our Kickstarter. We are fully funded, if you're worried about that. We are definitely fully funded. We're pushing towards some of the bigger stretch goals. And so the last 3, we have a thematic thing. Behemoths of the Bleak. 3 milestone enormous stretch goals, and each time we hit one, a new monster is released. And so we're pretty excited about that. But thank you, man, and I'm excited to see your rules. I'm excited to see your setting and everything like that. So yeah, please continue to share. If you're interested, there's also another group that I'm a part of called Beyond the Rules. And it is just where we all hang out and give each other tips and advice on tabletop RPG publishing. And so if you're interested in joining that group, you absolutely can. Just know that it is for people who are seriously looking to develop stuff. So you can do it as a hobby, but understand that most of the advice is bent toward, you know, scheduling and working on RPGs and methods and things like that. So it's not as much as an informal homebrew as it is, I want to create content, I want to publish that content, and we help you just talk it through and are a sounding board. So, Jonah Weatherby, what's up, man? Lawrence Kentworthy makes a very good point. The Doomsayer we fought in that game was a challenge rating 4. It's a lesser Doomsayer. Lesser. The greater Doomsayer, we've already discussed what we think the stat block would look like and some of the added threats, and we're really excited about that. Oh, Craig Ragland says, I'd love to get in on a beginner game. Well, check it out. Go over to the Absolute Tabletop Facebook group now, and I think, and then right below that, Chris from Drop Dice says, all of my games are open for beginners, both to the setting and to the games. I try to make it easy for new players in general. So, Craig, if you're not a part of the Absolute Tabletop Facebook group, go join. Someone will probably approve your membership within a reasonable amount of time, and then you can find Chris's post and jump on there. Let's see here. Christy Rand says, link to the rulebook PDF. For what? Are you talking specifically, are you talking to me or the gentleman, Peter, who was just talking about his core rules to his game? Dr. Professor Sir, knowing that Dragon Grin is a grim, dark fantasy style, is there going to be mechanics or tips on gritty, dark campaigns or roleplay? I'm running a gritty war campaign soon, and I would love some insight. Absolutely. Absolutely. So there are several things like that. One of the things was a stretch goal that was unlocked early. It's called Brutal Champions, and it's essentially new tips for grim and gritty combat in Dragon Grin. So there'll be tips and mechanics. Another thing, there is a primer in the beginning of the book, very close to the first thing you'll read, which is essentially explaining the tone and establishing that and deciding how grim and gritty your Dragon Grin is. But in addition to those things, there's a section near the end of the book called The Darkness of Dragon Grin, with multiple pieces that are designed to give you thematic options. Thematic treasure that is specific to a dark world, and specifically focusing on scarcity and those kinds of things. But there's also this thing called Treacherous Travel, which is all mechanics. But there will be plenty of inspiration and roleplay for moral quandaries and different things like that. So yes, absolutely. We think that having those things as inspiration to the tone is very important. So we're definitely doing that. Let's see. John Petrucci's here. Hi. Hi, John. I'm a huge fan of your work. You are the guitarist of Dream Theater, and it's awesome to have you here with a childhood photo as your avatar. Josh Rivera, could Doomsayers be able to mimic the player's bodies? Not now. Maybe in your Dragon Grin. Tell me about it. It sounds like they do in your Dragon Grin, which is rock and roll. Nate Magnum, I just got approved on the Facebook group already. Mid-vid. Yeah, that's how it goes, man. Christy says to me, so regarding the question of where's the rules PDF, the book is currently kickstarting. So if you're talking about the rules PDF to the book, it's not available. We will be, if you back the book, when you go, you will gain access, if you back the book, to something called the production diary, which, as the book has pieces that are more formed, you will get stripped down versions of the lore and some mechanics, very similar to Unearthed Arcana. But right now, there is no PDF to any of the rules, but we do have books available that are set in Dragon Grin on AbsoluteTabletop.com. Let's see here. Nate Magnum says, not a Facebook person really, though. We hear that quite a bit. In fact, there are at least 2 people that I know of who have said, I don't go on Facebook, except for this group. So, it's a pretty safe space, man. It's a pretty great place. It's not perfect, but it's pretty great in my opinion. The command tent. If you don't have Facebook, what is the best way to find these beginner games? I don't know. I don't know, because anything I would recommend, I don't know why you're not on Facebook, but I'll make a broad assumption and say that you just don't want to be on social media. But if you tell me why you're not on Facebook, I could probably give you better recommendations. But and you don't have to get into details, but if you're like, hey, I don't want people to see my stuff, or I don't want whatever, anything I would recommend to you, like Reddit or other message boards and things, probably pose a similar issue. So your local gaming store, but that's a crapshoot. That's the tough part, is that I can't vouch for any of those people, and I don't know what kind of experience you'll have and that sort of thing. So that gets pretty tricky. So yeah, that's tough, man. I would, if you're able to join Facebook and you're comfortable enough even to have an account just to join the AbTab group, it's worth giving a look, but I don't want to try to convince you. Oh, and Drop Die says, Be a Better Battle Master is pretty good for big battles. I've used it a few times online. That's one of our books on AbsoluteTabletop.com. Be a Better Battle Master is exactly what it sounds like. It's a supplement that allows you to make mass combat, and it's really cool. It's got these worksheets where you diagram out different choices, and something is always going wrong, so the players have to choose. It's really useful. There's also a video on AbsoluteTabletop.com showing it in use, or you can check out one of Chris's games where he uses it. And then Peter says, the way things look right now, I think my 30-day challenge will be done in one single video. Dude, do it big. Christy says, link to the Kickstarter, please. So I can't leave right now because it'll end the stream or, whatever. But what I will do is when this video is over, I will post it in the description. So it'll be the top link in the description. So Christy, once this is done and it's done processing, you can come back here and do that. Let's see here. Grayson Aiken says the command tent, and he recommends the same thing, just joining a local game shop or something like that for some beginner games. Check college campuses, Grayson, that's a really good idea. And then Dr. Professor says, I'm one of those Facebook only for roleplay types. By the way, Tim, where will the production diary and vlogs be? So we typically do those on the Absolute Tabletop YouTube channel, and they will be, the particular ones that are in the production group will be unlisted. So that means that only people who have backed the book will get those in backer updates or emails to backers only. So those will not be public. So any of those that are with any of the links to videos that are included with pledge levels will not be publicly available. They're only going to be available to the Kickstarter. Now, the production diary will be available after the Kickstarter to anyone who also pre-orders the book. So in the pledge levels, there are two streams. One is sort of a Q&A with us. The other is a world-building workshop. Those two will only be available to Kickstarter backers. Once the book is done being backed and we start posting in the production diary, anyone who does pre-order the book after will get access to the production diary, but not those streams. It's also important to note that the book is going to go up in price after the Kickstarter. We're a small company, and we just have to make sure that we can produce these high-quality hardcover books, and one of those things means price increase of beyond $55. So that is possible as well. Let's see here. I don't know why you guys... Oh, you can't post links in the chat so that people can't spam is why. Hey, Matt is here from A Fistful of Dice, the very first Doomsayer DM as we speak. Hey, has AbTab ever thought of hosting a forum on their website to connect people, or is Facebook just easier? Sorry to keep beating a dead horse. Facebook is just easier. Truthfully, websites now are a great way to find information about a company, but social media is just where all the people are. It's way easier, and that's where all the people are. So people visit our website to purchase books or do research on us or read articles and things like that. But something else that Matt just mentioned in the comment is the Discord. We have an AbTab Discord. So I hadn't even considered that. So one of the things you can do is when you join the Absolute Tabletop Facebook group, one of the links in the pinned post at the top is the Discord. But since you don't have Facebook, if you email me, tabletopterrors@gmail.com, I can get you set up with the Discord link. No problem. And we can get you that. And that way, if you are not into Facebook at all, that's actually really smart. Because there are plenty of people in there, they're active, they hang out, and you can post that you're interested in beginner games for sure. Oh, and then Matt posted it. Because he's a mod! Yes! So there's the Discord link. Please join us on Discord. And you know what? I gotta be better about going on there more often. I don't. And there's no good reason, darn it. I'm gonna have to call it though. We're reaching the end. You see where I hit my head earlier this week? I got it good. I hit it on the car door. My daughter was getting ready to spill this little tub of goldfish she had, and I reached in as fast as I could
to save the goldfish and didn't even think. I just wham, and I hit my head so hard that I sort of whited out for a second and fell. And yeah, this is where I hit it. That was top notch. Matt also posted the Kickstarter link. See, Matt is the responsible ab tab. He's a planner and he's good at that sort of thing. Thank you, Matt. But yeah, I got you, boo. The command tent said, dude, this is why you AbTab guys are so awesome, taking time with my questions. Absolutely. We want you to be a part of the community. And if your comfort level doesn't mean the Facebook community, then hopefully the Discord is going to be right up your alley, and we look forward to talking to you. Peter says, reflex save botched, huh? Yeah, crit fail. For sure. Because I hit my head so hard that I had to stop for a good 2 minutes and just catch my breath before I started driving. Because I was just like, okay, the ringing ears, everything. But, so, I have to end the stream and get back to my day job. But I love you all. I will try to be in the Discord tonight. One more thing I want to mention. Matt has a good question. He says, was it a I'm going to throw up injury? I was queasy. Yeah, I was in that ballpark. Because it was like, yeah, it was that weird pain where your body is just so jarred that it doesn't know exactly how to respond. So yeah, there was definitely this kind of, I think the only reason why I didn't is because I hadn't eaten breakfast yet. I was getting ready to drive my daughter to daycare. And so I was just like, that was a quiet car ride. I was just like, Grayson says, no, Tim, stay. One of yous. One of yous. All right, I'm really going to end it now. But I'll try to find a way to do daily damage more often. I really will. But I can't be stinking up my job site. I can't get that fresh BO. I sweat like MC Hammer at an ATM, like without walking. So imagine when I walk. Even if I change clothes, my body has an odor to it. This odor is not for a man of your stature. Anyway, love you all, and Matt, I don't think you got to hear the toast. Maybe you'll like this. Here's the new toast that I have. Then I'm gonna end the stream with this. May your meadows be misty. May your prep notes be listy. And may your interest posts see a spike before the dipsy. All right. Love you guys. Until next time, may your dice roll high.